Hey everyone, it's Ethan or Miist back again for another video today, and welcome back to the channel, guys. We're here again for yet another video, and today we're going to be talking about every movie and TV show I watched this past week, because I actually watched 2 seasons of TV this week, so figured I might as well add them, because why not, which really means I watched quite a fair amount this week. I watched 11 movies, and 2 seasons of TV, so that's exciting, I guess. We're going to start it off with the TV shows. So let's start it off with Season 1 of The Summer I Turned Pretty. And I am watching this with Mel. We started Season 2 tonight. Season 3 only comes out, I think, next summer, I believe. So I thought I had seen something about it coming out this year, but I was wrong. Anyways, I did enjoy this season, even though I didn't rank it very high. I only ranked it like a 65. But, yeah, it was pretty crazy. It was pretty good. There's some cringe in it a little bit, I'd say. The soundtrack throughout the show is insane, especially Season 1 and 2 so far. Only on Episode 3 of Season 2, and it's been insane. Anyways, I did enjoy it, and I do enjoy some of the characters. Although, it's kind of hard to care for Belly. She's not like a terrible person, but she's also not the best person, and I don't know. I'm on Team Jeremiah as well. I think that's a hot take, I guess. According to Mel, that's a hot take. She is also on Team Jeremiah, so shout out Team Jer. But yeah, let's move on to my second favorite, or I guess my favorite, which is the second show of the week. Anyways, Only Murders in the Building, Season 3. Now, I plan on watching this with Mel, but Mel didn't really want to rewatch it, so I ended up watching it by myself, and I did enjoy it. I kind of zoomed through this one, really. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed myself with it again a little bit. A little bit higher than The Summer I Turned Pretty Season 1. I ranked it a 66. So yeah, I don't think either of the seasons I watched were great or anything, but they were both decent seasons. Neither of them are really in like my kind of show. There are definitely more Mel shows, but that's all right. So let's get on to the movies, and we've got 2 themes really for this week. It's X-Men, and it's my favorite movies of all time, so we'll talk about that later, but let's start it off with X-Men Origins Wolverine, which this movie got fucking destroyed on my rewatch. I had this originally at a 4-star and 82 out of 100. It's gone down 39 points to a 43 out of 100, and now a 2-star on Letterboxd, which, by the way, follow my Letterboxd. Obviously, you could read my review. It is not a good movie, and actually a 2 stars seems to be kind of generous for this movie, so there are definitely things I enjoy about this movie, but there's a lot of shit I do not enjoy from this movie that I don't think is good. So yeah, I mean, ultimately, I don't think this is the best movie, and it's actually, I think, my least favorite X-Men movie at the time of going through the MCU, or the XMU, once again, so that's kind of sad, to be honest. Yeah, it's kind of sad. I didn't even think about that. Anyways, this is just not a good movie, to say the least. So let's move on to X-Men The Last Stand. Now, this one is actually better than I remembered, even though I had this at an 81 out of 100. The first time I went through the X-Men movies was the only time I think I've gone through the X-Men movies. I think I might have gone through them twice, but I've only had these ranked once, so it's been a little while. Anyways, I don't know what I was on. I know I love the X-Men more than I love the MCU. No, I shouldn't say that, because I don't like the X-Men movies as much as I like the MCU movies, but I just prefer the X-Men movies, if that makes any sense, or maybe it's just the X-Men, I don't know. Anyways, I know whatever, we're getting off track. I ranked this one a 69 out of 100 on rewatch, so it went down about 12 points, which isn't too bad, but it went down, and that's a pretty common theme with the X-Men movies. Now, there's 2 that I'm very excited to watch. Hopefully I'm going to watch them this week with Mel. We shall see. But yeah, I mean, overall, I did enjoy this more than I thought I was going to. I thought I was going to really hate this because I just remember not enjoying this movie very much, but I still ranked it an 81. So I don't know what I was on. Anyways, 69 out of 100 for the last hit. So let's move on to actually just 1 point above it, which is Monkey Man, directed by Dev Patel, which I did enjoy. A stylistically creative and beautiful action movie with a really great revenge plot. I don't think this is the best movie made. I don't think it's the best movie of the year, but it's very stylistic, and it really depends on which kind of, if you're into that stylistic, I don't know, I guess, style that this movie is. I don't know, there's things that I thoroughly enjoyed from this movie, like Dev Patel. Dev Patel is really great, and I thought he was really good behind the camera as well, so I really enjoyed that. I don't think it's the most intriguing story, but again, I do like the revenge plot, so that's nice. Yeah, some very great action with some really creative and unique moves and kills and just action scenes in general, so I really enjoyed that, and I really enjoyed the use of color throughout this movie, especially in the third act. I feel like that's where it was the best. Also, a great soundtrack, so yeah. Culturally booming with flair as well, which I thought was really enjoyable. So, yeah, with that being said, let's move on to X2. Now, I was really excited to watch this movie. I've been wanting to watch this one with Mel for a long time, and this one also got lowered. Yeah, this one got lowered from a 94 to an 81, so it's not my least favorite X-Men movie, but it is my favorite of the original trilogy still, which is not surprising to me. So yeah, out of the first 4 X-Men movies released in release order, they've all gone to... Actually, every rewatch of an X-Men movie so far has gone down. Even all 3 Deadpools, upon a rewatch, all went down as well. So yeah, I don't know. I love the X-Men, but the movies aren't as good as I remember them being. So, 81 out of 100 for X2. Love me some Magneto. Absolute king. Yeah. Moving on to the theme of the week, really, which is my favorite movies of all time. Now, this was something I've been wanting to do for a long time, but this week I started my binge of going through my favorite movies of all time, which is every movie I've ranked a 100 out of 100 because I want to rank them and I want to order them in the way I love them. Obviously, having these all out of 100 means I very much love them, but there's a lot of different ones. There's a lot of different style of ones as well, and I mean, to be honest, I am just excited to do this because this is something I've wanted to do for a long time. So let's talk about the only one that has actually gone down points, which really upsets me just because of the movie that it is, but it is Empire Strikes Back, which, yeah, this really surprised me. I did not expect this movie to go down, but there's a lot of things that kind of just bother me throughout this movie, and it's kind of nitpicky, but I really don't like C-3PO, and I just can't stand him, especially in the original trilogy. He's so fucking annoying. He's the Jar Jar of the original trilogy and is brutal. I just can't stand him. He's terribly annoying. I don't like most of the stuff that happens on Hoth, really until the Empire shows up, and then I do. And I am not a big fan of Luke either, which I know is a hot take. Another hot take, I personally prefer the Disney Luke. I just like that version of Luke a lot more. So I know that's a hot take and I'm in the minority, but I just prefer what happens with Luke and his story in the new trilogy, which is really just The Last Jedi. But yeah, with that being said, Empire Strikes Back goes down to a sad 98 out of 100. So I still absolutely love the movie. It's still a 5-star. It's still one of my favorites. It's still my second favorite Star Wars movie, but it has gone down 2 points. So let's move on to Scream, which is actually my least favorite so far of the 100 out of 100s. every time I watch this movie, I learn something new about it, or I realize something new about it, and I really, really enjoy this, and it's so unique. I love the satire kind of horror comedy that it is, and it's a really fun movie with tremendous directing from Wes Craven. I do think this is his best work, so I overall just really, really love this movie. Moving on to The Dark Knight. Now, The Dark Knight is actually one I was a little worried about it going down, but I decided not to. I'm going to keep it at the 100 out of 100. There was a part of me that was thinking about putting it down to 99 out of 100, but there isn't really anything I don't love about this movie, or I should say don't enjoy, because this movie is just, it's just incredible. It's an absolute force in the superhero genre. It's truly one of the best comic book movies ever made, and probably movies, to be honest, and it's incredibly influential. Shout out Chris Nolan for making this and being him, truly. That's all I could say. 100 out of 100. Really just an epic, honestly, is the best way I can put this movie. So, moving on to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Now, I was going to watch Into and Across this week, but I decided not to because I want to watch my top 5, or what I think is my top 5, all in the same week. And then I didn't even mention this, but the reason I'm going through all of these top 100 movies is because my birthday's in 2 weeks. Well, actually now it's only about a week and a half, so I really wanted to watch all my favorite movies, which is why I was doing this. Anyways, a 100 out of 100 for Into the Spider-Verse, of course, one of the greatest movies ever made, and the animation is truly something special, and it gets even better in the second one. This is truly impressive filmmaking that I very, very much enjoy. A perfect 100 out of 100, and yeah, let's move on to my next 100 out of 100, which is another animation flick, which is The Incredibles. Now, this movie has stood with me throughout my almost 23 years of living, even though that doesn't mathematically make sense since it came out of 2004, but since 2004, when I was a little 2 to 3 year old boy, I have absolutely adored The Incredibles, and my love for this movie is so grand, and it's honestly grown so much. I got even more love for this movie after this rewatch. Honestly, this is a movie that I need to have in my rotation more, this is just a movie I need to watch more as an adult, because it just gets better every time I watch it. I don't get it. I've seen this movie probably over 100 times throughout my life, and I still love every single second of this movie, and it's above Into the Spider-Verse, which I honestly wasn't expecting. So I'm very happy about that, because again, it just shows how much I really, really love this movie. And obviously a pioneer for what my life would become in the superhero genre, because it is my favorite genre. So shout out to The Incredibles. Now let's move on to the top 2. That was number 3. So at number 2 we have Man of Steel, which, again, similarly, I love this movie more and more every time I watch it. I know people don't like this movie, and I really don't give a fuck. I fucking love this movie. This is Zack Snyder at his absolute best, in my opinion. His world building is insane. His character building is lovely, and I love everything about this movie. I think the action is amazing. I think the just origin story of Superman is so good, and I love Zack's version of Superman and Krypton and just everything that comes with it. So much more than all the other ones I've seen. And I absolutely love this score. My favorite score of all time is Flight, and it's like it's like my go-to gym song too as well. And to be honest, this is probably the best score ever made. It's like top 3 for sure, I think, for me. It's probably number 1 or number 2, but I just love this movie so fucking much, man. This movie is really what got me into movies and got me into scores. So shout out to Zack Snyder, shout out to Hans Zimmer, shout out fucking Henry Cavill. That's my Superman. Well, let's move on to my favorite watch of the week, which is Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Still my favorite watch from Star Wars, a 100 out of 100, of course. I didn't mention that, but for Man of Steel as well, of course. And yeah, so far, these two I do think definitely are going to be in my top 10. There's some others that I'm not too sure about yet, so I'm excited to see where my top 10 is going to rank once we're done. But yeah, Revenge of the Sith, the fucking GOAT. I think I talk about every time I watch this movie, I think I talk about how depressing it is and how sad it gets to me, and it's so sad. It's brutal. Oh, it's so depressing. I love this movie. Anyways, a perfect 100 out of 100. So that's it. That's it from everything today, guys. Oh, jeez, I'm losing it. It's time to go to bed. It's 12:30 in the morning. I work at 9, and I got to edit this. So thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Follow me on Letterboxd. Bye-bye.